Financials is out, and you know your guys like to run your mouth. And we have a three-headed monster, a Hydra, that's inside the building. Did Kong turn to Ghidorah? Did that happen before our eyes? Ubisoft has some stuff to talk about. Oh, and I can't wait to get into that. So more backslap. Watch yourself now. And Xbox. You guys are doing exactly what I asked you to do. Now, you have other people outside talking. They always talking right before a show. They're trying to take your joy. But let's get into these topics.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, let's go. We got a lot to discuss. When it come to news, ain't no better than us. When it come to news, ain't no one you can trust. We got a lot to touch, so it's time to crush. We got a lot to discuss. When it come to news, ain't no better than us. When it come to news, ain't no one you can trust. We got a lot to touch, so it's time to crush. So it's time to crush.
Peace and blessings, and welcome back to Xbox Frontline News with your boy, the King. Now, if this is your first time finding the channel, please take my invitation to sub, become a member. And if you've been here all the time, thank you for rocking with me. I'm gonna tell you right now, it means nothing more to me than you guys even paying attention to anything that I say. I'm just trying to give you an insight from my point of view, from stuff that I do know and the stuff that I've been around to learn about. But we got a chance to see a lot of stuff this week. We got a chance to see games coming out to Xbox. Game Pass is being as more robust as it's ever been, to be honest with you. This month seems to be an incredible month for Game Pass, especially with Hellblade coming out. And then, I expect it, and I totally get it when you have the PlayStation fan base that wants to downplay, discredit, and just push you to the side to make you feel bad about gaming, knowing that you have stuff to look forward to. You have stuff to look forward to. The Game Pass Xbox person has a lot to look forward to this year. Your plate is full. Don't let anybody step on your parade or make you try to figure out stuff that you really should not be concerning yourself with. I sat there and I thought about it, right? I was having a long thought, and I didn't do a video yesterday. And my long thought was like, what happened to us? What happened to everything that we was doing? What is the reason why I become so aggressive at, like with Xbox, and, so negative towards PlayStation? Well, I was used to play, PlayStation a lot. I really do. But the problem is, I really honestly think the problem is when everything became a social media thing, it became a me better than you thing. And it's cool to take sides because I'm a highly competitive person. And being a highly competitive person, I always look at the opposition, and I go for the juggler. Pause, no diddy. I try to stomp out the competition. Now, PlayStation changed from initial, my love for PlayStation. And I think there's is a sense of three different camps that's going on here. You have old school PlayStation dude like myself that been, played, when the Japanese import before the American came out, right? Then you have people that got like in on the PlayStation 2, right? Then you have the new ones that got in on the PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation 5. I find those PlayStation 4 entry point dudes and the PlayStation 5 entry point guys as the most toxic, because they seem to be the most ignorant, right? And because that would mean that they got in at the Xbox One era and that level of thought process with the dominance of PlayStation at that period of time. And I think that formulated my disdain for that community, because their level of ignorance was far surpassing anything that I've ever seen. And it just allowed me to take a fundamental stance against that type of individual. Now, the PlayStation fan that has been a PlayStation fan since PlayStation 1, the PSP, the first Vita, we have a kinship because we understood exactly what they were and what they are and what happened. It's the same thing with the Xbox community. The Xbox community, if you're a newer Xbox dude, like right now, I notice you're weak as hell. You're a weak person. And I see it in the comments. I see it in how they move. Oh, I'm off the platform. You're a very weak individual, because anybody that has been like Xbox for life, you have already understood the fact that you're at a point of fight. You have been fighting. You have never stopped fighting. You have been a fighter for forever. So your level of fight has always been there. You've been fighting since Xbox came out. So you don't nothing but fight. Fight is your life, right? And when you got the 360, you started getting some rounds, bro. Like you was like, yo, I got the champ on the ropes. And then came Xbox One area, and hey man, the champ woke up, started throwing jabs with right hands, hooks, body shots. And that carried over into the Xbox. I mean, you got into the PlayStation 4 era. Then that carried over to the Series consoles. Series consoles not so much, because certain things happen that set up things differently. Nobody could have projected the pandemic. Nobody did that, except for these people that is planning our demise at the end of the day. Anyway, but I'm going to give you my reasons for why we're heading towards a market crash, right? And my reasoning for us heading to the market crash is games as a service. I've been a sucker for games as a service. And let me show you exactly what I mean. Anytime you get sucked into a game of a service, these games of a service hold you hostage. I've been held hostage by The Division. I've been held hostage by Fortnite. I've been held hostage by Outriders. I've been held hostage by what's that game? Jesus, Bungie make it. I'm so pissed at Destiny and Destiny 2. I've been held hostage. I didn't get held hostage by Apex Legends, but that is what's killing the gaming industry. This is fundamentally, those games take so much of your time. You're not able to go out, purchase new games and finish new games, right? Or purchase games at that pace. And God bless everybody that has not fell victim to Fortnite or Apex Legends or anything like that. Stay the hell away. Stay so far away from it, because that's destroying the very fabric of our video game purchasing. I noticed the console sales, right? So you look at the console sales, but game sales are not reflective of that. That started happening the moment games of a service hit the rise. The moment games of a service hit a rise, it's like you're purchasing. You don't need to purchase because you're too worried about purchasing in-game content for that one game that you do have. And you got this game for the last, let's say 5-6 years. You have put more money into that game than you have put into your whole entire library that you've played in one generation that didn't have any of those things that was there. And I'm noticing it and I'm watching it and I'm like, damn, it was like Hogwarts Legacy came out and I wanted to play Hogwarts Legacy. I didn't get a chance to play Hogwarts Legacy because I'm knee deep playing something else. I'm playing Fortnite or something like that. And that is the fundamental problem. You can't rip yourself away from playing the game that you got to get past. You got to get this. You got to do these things. And I'm telling you, that is the fundamental breakdown when it comes to where we are as consumers. It stunts our growth as gamers. It stunts our ability to do something because you only have so much time in a day. And anybody's coming back from this pandemic, we understand exactly there's so little time to fix so much damage that was done in that short period of time to our lives, to our livelihoods. And I'm talking about as a society, we start to see the systemic breakdowns in the industry, which is actually formulating a level of chaos and uncertainty. People don't want their favorite thing to disappear. And I've been at the cusp of all of this stuff. I've seen NEC, I see PC Engine, which is TurboGrafx. There's different things at play here, right? So people are looking at financials and people are thinking that they know things and they're trying to anticipate stuff that they can't stop. You can't stop what's happening. And looking at the thought of any of the big three leaving, that's a scary thought because I've witnessed it. I've lived it. But there's things that are different in this. And we're going to get into some Sony financials and we're going to get into some stuff and then we'll come back at the end. In big news, Microsoft puts over 60 Xbox 360 games on sale ahead of the store shutdown. Microsoft has put 66 Xbox 360 games on sale ahead of the planned shutdown of the Xbox 360 store on the console and the Xbox 360 marketplace. In an announcement on Xbox Wire, Microsoft published a list of the on-sale Xbox 360 games with the promise of more to come on June 18th and July 16th. These price reductions will remain in place for each game throughout the 360 store closing on July 29th, 2024, Microsoft said. Starting on July 29th, 2024, Microsoft will stop supporting the ability to purchase new games, DLC, and other entertainment content from the 360 store on the console and the Xbox 360 marketplace, marketplace.xbox.com. This change will not affect your ability to play the Xbox 360 games or the DLC you have already purchased. Xbox 360 games and content previously purchased will still be available to play. And here's the list of all the games that's included. Here's the list of the Xbox 360 games included on the sale alongside their discounts as of May 15th. So you see Alien Rage, 90% discount, a lot of huge discounts going on in the Microsoft store right now. With all of these games here, Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell Chaos Theory, which is really dope. Trials Fusion, dope. Valorant Hearts, Great War, pretty good. Voodoo Dice. Whole bunch of different games here that are on sale. And this is part of a giant strategy over at Microsoft. A lot of these P-brains don't understand what's going on, what's really happening. And I'm just here to bring you that news. Here's something to smile about. If you are an Xbox Game Pass subscriber, all these games are coming to Xbox Game Pass soon. Xbox Game Pass grows. The Game Pass catalog continues to grow as Microsoft has announced the next set of additions to the great subscription service. Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons. Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons is available now on cloud, console, and PC. Chants of Sanaa will be available via the cloud, console, and PC on May 15th. That is today, so go check it out. NHL 24 will be available via cloud May 16th. It's already on Game Pass for console. Immortals of Avian. I purchased that game not too long ago. I mean, for $8. But regardless to what, it's on Game Pass May 16th on PC, cloud, and console. And you know the star of the show, Senua's Saga Hellblade 2, will be available day one for cloud, PC, and console on the 21st. Galacticare will be available day one for cloud, console, PC on the 23rd. Hantai will be available day one for cloud, console, PC on the 23rd. Moving Out 2 will be available for cloud, console, PC on May 28th. Humanities will be available for cloud, console, PC on May 30th. Yo, I think that launched in the PlayStation service last year. I was always interested in this game, but I like the game when it was talking about it from a VR standpoint. So I got to check and see if it's still VR compatible so I can put my PlayStation VR to some use. Lords of the Fallen will be available for cloud, PC, and console May 30th. I'm particularly interested in this game here. Firework will be available for PC June 4th. And last but not least is Rolling Hills will be available for cloud, console, and PC June 4th. Some good games in there. Some stuff to sink your teeth into. That Game Pass, boys, sure is crazy. Paging slow-mo backslap. I love my guy to death, but I've been off that Division train long time ago. Hot monkeys loving, come out of the bushes. The jig is up. It's over. Ubisoft has canceled the Division Heartland and redeployed resources to big opportunities like its Call of Duty style first-person shooter X-Defiant. Division Heartland, which was set to be a free-to-play take-it-on third-person shooter series, has been canceled. It's the financials, bro. We are in a point right now where they can't take these gambles on these games that they've been given a chance to. This is, again, Ubisoft has noted on today's report that it intends to return to leadership in the open world genre alongside increased investments in games as a service during a Q&A session with investors. I'm telling you right now, it's these meetings that before we didn't know about or we didn't care about that we happen to care so much about now. It's crazy. He said, as for the Division, we have an ambitious roadmap that relies on investing in the Division 2, the Division Resurgence, which will come on mobile this year, and we will have the Division 3 that is in development. The Division 3 has not yet been formally unveiled, but it was announced in a shockingly casual way last year. I don't know, man, because I thought Heartland was, really close. He was asked later how much Ubisoft had invested in Heartland. We don't disclose the detailed numbers on the budget, he said. It was, of course, a significant material investment that we had to put into the game. This is what I'm talking about. If you're going to cut bait in the middle of, making a game, I'm telling you, there is bigger things at work and we will never understand half the stuff that goes on. And you have a lot of these guys out here trying to tell you stuff that they have no idea about, and they keep doing it and they keep putting fear in you. They don't know what's going on, and they're trying to run $1 billion and $1 trillion companies from the comfort of their cushy, dirty couches. Paramount shares they take a dip on a report that Sony is rethinking the $26 billion bid. I told you they didn't have no bread. They was out here doing stupid things, trying to figure out how they can acquire stuff that they can't afford. Here's a Paramount Global dipped in afternoon trading on CNBC report that Sony may be rethinking a joint bid with Apollo for the company. Apollo's the one with the bread, Sony's the one with the clout. A person familiar with the situation said there's no indication Sony is pulling out of the deal, but the CNBC report noted that the rethinking may mean a restructuring of what would have been a very complex transaction. That means You got a co-signer that has all the stake in the control of the situation, and Sony was rethinking that, knowing that we may not own what we think we're going to own. You understand? This is wild crazy. The joint offer would also face regulatory scrutiny on several fronts. Paramount stock, which has a higher and much of the session, dropped more than 5%, now changing hands at about $12.35. The shares have been buffeted by the deal speculation all year. It has been rather quiet on the par for the deal after a flurry of news at Skydance revised its offer several weeks ago. It's a deal will see Skydance acquire Redstone's controlling stake in a prorated number for the shares, and help by other stockholders. Paramount will go private. There are different situations that can happen here. Nothing is set in stone, but I always thought that it was kind of funny that you had PlayStation dudes thinking this was some sort of win. This was nothing close. Let me start by saying this is going to cause one hell of a problem soon. But we have a Hydra sighting. Sony Interactive Entertainment, which is supposed to be Sony Entertainment Interactive, because I want to put the entertainment back into interactive. You see, they beat me out at the job here, and I don't really care too much about this, but appoints 2 new CEOs, Hideki Noshino and Herman Holtz. Well, if you go to different sites, some got Herman Holtz first and Hideki second. I think this is going to be a big problem. Noshino leads the platform business group. Holtz leads the studio business group. So I don't think that there's a problem with that, but I think streamlining stuff, they got a chance to see the efficiency that Microsoft is moving in their situation, where you have, Matt Booty, Sarah Bond, and Phil overseeing. But we still got Hiroki Totoki as the overseer in the situation. That's the Hydra. I'm glad that they did break it up, because it's not the same world before where, you can have, President and CEO Jim Ryan, like how Jim Ryan was doing it, running it. As you can see, he ran it into the ground. So now they will have the opportunity to push forward. Nishino's correct is currently the senior vice president of the Platform Experience Group and leads the team responsible for developing the experiences and technology within PlayStation products and services. As CEO of the Platform Business Group, Nishino will continue to be responsible for technology, products, services, and platform experiences. He will also oversee third-party publisher and developer relations, as well as commercial operations, including sales, marketing, and hardware services and peripherals. Holtz is currently the senior vice president and head of PlayStation Studios. He is responsible for developing content across devices, including PlayStation, PC, and bringing video game IPs to new mediums through PlayStation products. The Last of Us series, PlayStation productions, like The Last of Us series. As CEO of Studio Business Group, Holtz will be responsible for developing, publishing, and business operation of SIE's first-party content. They needed somebody dedicated in charge of first-party content, so we don't have a drought like we have this year. They did state, though, that they would be putting out smaller first-party titles this year. But I believe those smaller first-party titles is like Gravity Rush 2 remake for the PC and some other stuff like that. Concord may or may not make it by the end of the year, but this puts them on a better trajectory in course correcting and trying to spin their tires in a different direction as the market takes a dip and as Sony's financials didn't meet the expectations of every investor in Japan. Now, I would go into something crazy because a lot of these fake stock investors that you hear online and these dudes that are always worrying about console sales and where Sony gets their money from, they report stupid and fake information all the time. They don't know that Sony gets the majority of their money from life insurance policies. But these idiots want you to believe that the PlayStation is the one that's propping up Sony. A bunch of bucketheads. But again, those are people that don't invest anything, that don't have no invested stake in it. They're just consumers. They just play games. They're just as ignorant as anything under the sun, because ignorant is not knowing, and not knowing is not going out to go get information and not putting yourself in places and conversations that you should be putting in. If you're just going to play games and that's what you're going to do, you should just talk about games, play games, and be about games. But Sony shares jumped after the profit beats its buyback plans. Half of you don't even know what the hell a buyback plan is. You have no idea that they have to do splits. You have no idea what the hell is going on. Sony stocks climb back to its most that it's been in 18 months after it announced its share buyback and stock splits and incomes that beat estimates for the March quarter. While the PlayStation hardware sales set to remain under pressure. You bonehead idiots continue to think you know something about anything but have absolutely no idea about anything. You play games, bro. Go do that. You brought one console. Don't worry about what they sold in a year. You don't have fun. There's no joy in your life. You gotta have fun. I know there's no games for you this year, but you gotta stop worrying about something that you don't have a stake in. You don't even know what the Bloomberg site is about. You wouldn't know what to do when you got there. Okay, real quick, I'm gonna show you how to read your earnings call, right? So for you fake investors out there that want to get a chance to get in, this is to be the best time for you to get and buy any Sony stock. So if you're actually really about that life and you're talking about doing what you're talking about doing, which I don't know if that's what you're going to talk about, because a lot of you guys is going to come here and you're going to come straight to the PlayStation sales reach 59.2 million units. The company forecast selling approximately 18 million for the fiscal year of 2024. Now, what you have to understand is they started counting other pieces of tech as consoles. So this unit number right here is not really a good metric for you to go by, right? But the music industry increased by 17%. This is where this is good. Our picture segment saw a 9% increase. That's really good. That's encouraging. This 9% and 17%, because remember, that's coming from last year, and we wanted to see growth in this section. You didn't have to worry about, like the fifth mid-range plan emphasizes synergies across the groups, but you don't have to worry about that part because you got to go to the company outlook. So this is what you're going to get in your disclosure portfolios, right? And you're going to see that they're going to continue growth anticipated in the music and the picture segments. That's why I was telling you these two segments are the most important segments when you're looking at it. These two segments here, the music and the pictures. That's where you saw the biggest growth and what they needed to happen, right? So this is the bearish. Okay, so the segment sales slightly decreased. Operating income in the financial segment fell due to various factors and expectations of decelerated growth in interchangeable lenses and mirrorless cameras market second half of the 2024. So this is a big part of their strategy. It didn't reach their expectations. It fell a little bit short, but again, it's still going to grow, right? So this is the bullish. The bullish consolidated sales and operating income for 2023. Strong growth. This is the driving factor right here. You're starting to see music and movies start to pick up, right? And that's pretty good. Increased sales in the segment driven by mobile image sensors and favorable foreign exchange rates. Good. Misses. Sony did not provide a breakdown of strategic investments by the segments. Yeah, they don't like that. No comments was made when the media reports asked for specific details. Highlights. Let me see. Sony aims for 10% ROIC on semiconductor business. You know, when people was joking before how they was trading semiconductors with Microsoft, that's a big part of their business. Let me see. They closed their earnings call with a committed to financial soundness and the strategy of focus on shareholders' return. The company's forward-looking statements indicate a productive approach to navigating the market challenges while capitalizing on its strengths in the technology sectors, with a stock split on the horizons of a goal of 40% payout and a ratio good by 2026. All right, so they're positioning itself for continued success to the investors' confidence. Now, that's where Hiroki Totoki was talking. They gave a whole big thing about Hiroki Totoki and for the while. The biggest thing here is the end-all-end growth in the music and the pitches. These units fell because it didn't really reach the forecast that they wanted to reach. So a lot of the PlayStation dudes is going to tell you that this stuff is healthy. Now, they have this is the best time for you to get in, right? Because they've been investing at their lowest cost. Like their lowest cost, they have a total payout. Where is the lowest cost? Oh, okay. All right, here we go. So for you would-be investors, you guys that you want to start making some bread, or you want to start investing your money, this is the best time to get Sony stock, right? Protests for Sony highlight the company is a prominent player in the household durables industry, which aligns itself with significant sales in PlayStation and PlayStation Picture segments. Trust me, in picture segment. Moreover, Sony cash flows on significant cover its interest payments, so they can pay their interest problem with no problem, indicating financial stability and a sound debt management strategy for investors looking for a long-term value. Sony has shown a strong return over the last 5 years and is currently trading near its 52-week low. All right, so potentially presenting an attractive entry point. So if you wanted to get into investing, and if you like talking numbers and you like talking stocks, you like talking all that stuff, you're not like playing video games and you like being on Twitter talking and stuff, well, this is the time where you put your money where your mouth is, and you can get into a space where you can actually back it up, and you can actually have an invested stake in it. But a lot of you guys are having an invested stake in something that you really don't have a stake in. So unless you're doing this, I don't want to hear you. Be honest with you. So the fact of the matter is, I believe that Sony is steering the ship in the right direction with Hiroki Totoki at the top of the, tip of the spear. I hate saying that. I think that's kind of weird. As the center head and the three-headed Hydra were Hearst and Shomo, I believe that they can find a balance and accountability, because there was a lot of mistakes made, and that can't be continued. As far as the financials go, the financials look like this is the best entry point if you ever wanted to get into stocks for Sony or something like that. Or if you want to play stocks online, you can really play stocks in real life. Go do that. Stop talking about it, be about it. Put your money where your mouth is. Doesn't take too much from you, to be honest with you. Actually start investing in your hobby, start investing in your life, start investing in stuff that you see that you love, and start putting your money where your mouth is, because it's going to be a time where that level of commitment is going to be needed. And if you don't do it now, then when are you going to do it? And as far as everybody going at my man Jazz for saying something, I told y'all before, stop taking this stuff out of context, because y'all looking to find out if games are going over to the PlayStation. Yes, there's games going over to the PlayStation. Microsoft is the largest third-party, first-party console developer in the world, larger than Tencent, larger than Sony. By pure capita, Microsoft is number one. By pure market capita, they're number one, period. So that means by dollar amount, by that stuff like that. So when you look at financials and you're talking stupidity, I'm here to tell you, you're talking stupidity. So Microsoft, let me give you my predictions for what I think Microsoft will do. Slowly but surely, Microsoft will take the Xbox name off of Game Pass, and it will put Microsoft Game Pass, or just Game Pass by itself. Because Microsoft Games is going to take the forefront, right? You got to look at it. I gave this analogy on ILP. It's like if you have a lemonade stand, and you have this lemonade stand, and you're making money outside the house, and then you come in and one day you put your money on the table and you're like, hey, mom, dad, I made like 6-7 grand. Now they're looking at you like you can earn. Now they're going to try to monetize your business that you had growing because they're a bigger entity. Microsoft is a larger entity than Xbox. I always thought that they had bad messaging, always thought that they had bad branding, and they had the opportunity to fix it. And they just, for some reason, never did. And the moment Microsoft saw that Xbox made some type of money, now all these hands are in the pot. Amy Hood, Satya Nadella. But you got to take the bitter with the sweet. And I explained to people, they no longer Justin Bieber when he was on, YouTube, when they found him on YouTube and he had his music and they're no longer that sweet, innocent thing that we love. Now they're going to turn into Justin Bieber, the rock star. And Justin Bieber at his core will always be Justin Bieber at his core, but it's going to change into something grandiose, something larger than life. Microsoft Games is going to be larger than life. The Xbox brand will always be there because the Xbox brand will be a conduit to that. But once they started making money, I told people, be careful what you wish for. Be careful what you wish for. That rapper, the underground rapper that's making that music, as soon as he gets his record deal, he's a different individual. Sony, end over end, I can see the continued decline of hardware sales. I don't ever see it rebounding because we're at a different time and a different age and a different consumption level. People didn't want to make the commitment of current generation only. And I think they kept those Xbox Ones around too long and those PlayStation 4s around too long, that it actually significantly hurt growth. And it wasn't nothing too compelling because the leap wasn't as substantial. That's why you hear Sarah Bond telling you that the next console is going to be a tremendous leap. It's going to be something that you've never seen before. They can only make those bold declarations unless it's something there, a factor that's there. I told you that factor is AI. Truly, if you watched any of my videos on the AI series, the Bloomberg series, that's where you're going to see a significant level of growth that can't be quantified because we already hit a ceiling. So the only way you could break through that ceiling is with new technology, and the new technology is AI. Something never before used in console, which will be utilized. As we can tell, we're having a crisis right now. And both companies is trying to navigate their way through it by looking at the financials and combing through the financials for both. I understand the deficiencies and I also see the highlights, but I also see the pitfalls that one can see fool's gold, where there's absolutely going to be a steady decline until something dramatic happens. And I'm noticing it throughout the whole industry. Everybody's posting loss, reshuffling, reshifting, removing. And I didn't really want to get into a whole console war thing because at this moment, the level of uncertainty is crazy. And I'm looking over at people stoking a level of dissension and fear. And it's from content creators because I look at the headlines on stuff, and I mean, I'm guilty of certain stuff too, but at the end of the day, I have a heart. I have a heart to that. I don't put nobody's name to anything. You won't see me put tweets up of people saying things and gotcha moments. That's not my thing. My thing is talking about how I feel about something, how I see stuff, and what I want to bring to you, because I want to bring it to you with some type of heart and some type of feeling, some type of care. I come from shaking people's hand and looking people in the face. A lot of the people that you're listening to and talking to don't shake hands and can't look you in the eyes. That's dishonesty. But this is the part in the video where I'm going to tell you to like, follow, and subscribe. And you don't. Yo, tell me you like that Assassin's Creed. The boy threw that. Yo, that Assassin's Creed. Before we get to that, can we give a shout out to the Black Samurai? Can we give a shout out to the Black Samurai? And we got ninjas, we got samurai. We gonna be over there because I'm finishing up Odyssey. I gotta finish up Odyssey before November. Yo, this is going to be a year to remember, and this joint is about to hit number one under the sun. Black Samurai with the Japanese ninja joint. Oh man. And I love the way Ubisoft broke it down, and it was telling you how, it's gonna be two stories diametrically different. You understand? Like you get to control her, get to control him, and the stories in the world intertwine, interweave. And listen, I love it. Like I love the Assassin's Creed, the origins when they took it back to Egypt. Yo, I can't wait because it's stuff like this, stuff that you know, stuff that you heard of. You want to see somebody's interpretation of a story that's going to lead you down a pathway into something completely different and new. That's what I want. This is what I play video games for those stories, for those little corner, those experiences, for these developers that bring these experiences to you with so much heart, so much thought, and so much caring. That's what I'm looking for. Well, I was about to get out of here, but I'm gonna get out of here now. This is the part in the video where I'm gonna tell you, like, follow, subscribe, and I'm gonna take that logo and I'm gonna throw it around Assassin's Creed November 15th. Try to play the Game Pass.